Hello guys, in this video we are going to learn that how many types of energy exists in this universe. So according to the basic definition, we usually know that energy is actually the ability to do some work. I mean, if some object is doing some work that is given by F dot D force and its displacement, then definitely it has some energy due to which it was working at that time. So when objects move, then energy is actually shifted from one point to another point. It can exist in various forms. For example, in the case of sound energy, when you speak, then your sound travels through air and the air just in front of your mouth firstly gets that sound energy, and then that energy keeps on processing until it reaches the ears of the second person. Energy is basically a scalar quantity and its unit is joules. Since it's also the capacity of a object to do some work, so definitely it can be measured in terms of work. So work and energy usually have same units, and according to law of conservation of energy, energy cannot be created or destroyed. However, it can change its form. For example, lastly we have discussed about the bomb explosion. So basically the total energy in the bomb explosion process remains same, but actually what happens, the energy that is stored in the form of potential energy inside the bomb then actually is converted into kinetic energy, due to which the fragments of the bomb move far away, the heat energy and the energy to break the bomb, etc. So in this way the energy can change its forms, but the total energy of a system remains same, and it cannot be created or cannot be ended even. So there are various ways in which energy can be transferred from one place to another, and here are the four processes. By mechanical way, I mean by doing some work physically like that. By electric way, mean in the sense of electromagnetism. By radiations like light and sound waves you say. And by heating, mean in the case when you boil some water for example, then the heat is just being applied on the bottom of the pot whatever you have placed on the fire, but so in that sense only the water that is touching the boundary of that bowl or the pot will just get heated, but when you see after some time the whole water is completely heated. So actually what happens that molecules that are at the boundary get in heat energy and then transfer that energy to the cold molecules. In this way the all molecules in that pot get the same temperature. So here we see that what are the types of energy. So basically energy is divided just into two types, that are kinetic and potential, and the all other types are the subtypes of kinetic and potential energy. So let's see what is kinetic energy. As you know, it's too common now that kinetic energy is the energy that is required to do some motion. Mean if any object is moving, then definitely it has velocity v, right? So if it has velocity v, then it will also have some kinetic energy. Definitely each object have some mass, and 1/2 is constant over here. So if v exists, then definitely kinetic energy will also be there. The unit of kinetic energy is definitely the same, that is joules. And now we see that what are the further types of kinetic energy. The first one is the radiant energy. Radiant energy is defined as the type of electromagnetic energy, mean the energy that cannot be viewed usually, which is actually experienced in the form of heat. For example, the rays coming from sun, UV rays or whatever you say. So those rays or the particles that are coming outside from space or all that are the sources of radiant energy actually, or can be said the examples of the radiant energy. So sunlight is an example of radiant energy. This term is usually used in the solar energy phenomena. And the next type that we are going to discuss is the thermal energy, right? So the thermal energy is a type of energy that is also relevant to the heat. Definitely therm mean the heat. Okay, so thermal energy, so heat energy. So it is also produced due to the rise in the temperature, just as I gave you the example of boiling water in some pot. So when the temperature of that water increases, then the molecules of the water keep vibrating very faster as compared to before some time. So due to this reason, their kinetic energy is increased. And kinetic energy in which form? That is the thermal energy. So actually the thermal energy is increased. That is actually the subtype of kinetic energy. So usually we say that when we rise the temperature, so kinetic energy is increased. So this is the basic thing. It is also related to the internal energy of the system. Just like I told you that when you must have studied that when we increase temperature, then internal energy of a system increases. And internal energy is directly linked to the kinetic energy, and kinetic energy has a further subtype, that is the thermal energy. So basically by rising the heat or by rising the temperature of a system, the thermal energy of a system increases. Okay, the next one is the sound energy. That is also the subtype of the kinetic energy. So unlike light energy, sound energy needs some medium. It is not a type of electromagnetic energy. It is necessary to provide it some medium so that it can pass through. So in the case of vacuum, it cannot pass. If you speak and create a vacuum between your mouth and the ear of the other person, then the other person cannot hear your voice because there is no medium between both things to pass the sound energy. So sound energy can be passed through solids, liquids and gases. Definitely all of them are some materials and provide some proper medium. However, the speed of sound is fast in solids as compared to liquids and gases. Now what can be its reason? Can you see? See, the atoms in the case of solids are placed very close to each other. So this is the reason due to which they can pass energy from one to the second one quite easily. However, in the case of liquids, the molecules are far away, and in the gases, the molecules are very away from each other. So that's why it's not easy to pass the sound from such a medium. It is the energy which is hearable for the human beings. However, there is some specific range that is of 16 hertz to 20 kilohertz. This is the frequency range of the sound that must be that we can hear that sound, right? The next one is electrical energy. This is a type of energy that is caused due to the motion of electric charges. You see, like current, the charges are moving, so definitely that is the electrical energy. So its example is electrons, as usually current is contained by the electrons. So electrons will carry the more electric energy if they will move faster, and the faster the term faster over here is derived from the source. So definitely there must be some source that will be pushing those electrons to move in the whole circuit. So that is done by the batteries or the cells, whatever that is here. Now the next term of the kinetic energy is mechanical energy. So it is the energy that is stored in the object as they move. In terms of potential energy, you must not be confused with potential, as it is not the potential energy, but since it's a little similar, seems to be similar, so that's why I just took that name. So it is the sum of kinetic and potential energy of the whole system, right? more energy will be stored if the object will move faster. So initially the object will have potential energy, and when it will start moving, then it will be converted into kinetic energy. For example, in the case of a pendulum, when it is in the mean position, mean it is at the central point O, then it only has the potential energy. But if you start its displacements, mean when it will start moving, then definitely it will change its energy. So the next thing that we are going to discuss was that when the pendulum starts moving from its mean position to some extreme point, then it starts its to and fro motion, making origin that's the central point of the pendulum's motion, and then it continues this motion. So in the whole process, that is actually simple harmonic motion, so the energy keeps converting into the other form from one, and in this way the total energies of the whole system remains same. The next one is the light energy. I would like to show you this one. That's usually light energy. So this is actually a source, and the light is coming from this source to our eyes actually. So basically what is happening, that that light source is producing the photons that actually consists of photons. So they travel with the speed of 3 multiplied 10 raised to power 8. This is the speed of light, and since the photons carry no mass, so that's why it is the highest speed that is since estimated in this universe. Okay, and the next type of the energy was potential energy, as it is the second type. So now we will discuss it and its further types. So potential energy is defined as the energy that is possessed by an object due to its position. Mean if an object is at some height h, then it must have some energy, that is U is equal to mgh. However, an object that is placed on the ground level will have zero potential energy. Okay, g is the gravitational acceleration, h is the height of the object, and m is the mass. So definitely g and m are definitely okay, mean both are constants and every object have them. But if the h is zero, then object will have no potential energy. The next one is the types of the potential energy. The first one is the gravitational energy. The first one was the gravitational energy. So this is the energy that is associated with the gravity definitely. So an object that is at some height will have more gravitational potential energy as compared to an other object that is at the ground level. So this potential energy is given as U is equal to minus capital G m by r. So here actually capital M is the mass of the object, earth. G is the gravitational constant, m is the mass of that object, and r is the distance. Which distance? That's actually the distance of the earth or that object. Mean the distance between these two masses is denoted by r. The gravitational potential energy becomes zero when r will be infinity. Definitely it's in the fraction, so when there will be infinity value of r, then u will become 0, and if r is 0, then definitely u will become infinity. This negative sign indicates that object is bounded in this sense. How? That definitely if it will move out of the range of gravity, then definitely there will be no force that will be acting on it. So in that reason, that is minus sign in this above relationship. Next one of type of the nuclear of potential energy is the nuclear energy, as definitely it's clear from the name that it will be concerned to the atomic level, mean the nucleus of some atom. So this energy is released during the nuclear fission reaction when the nuclei split apart due to some unstable reactions inside the nucleus. What happens that in the atoms, the nuclei just split, and as a result the fission reaction happens, due to which the nuclear energy is produced. Okay, in the nuclear reactor, when the heavy nucleus breaks, then a tremendous amount of energy is produced, and that heat is released due to the fission reaction, right? And then it is connected to some turbine that is used to generate some electricity. So actually nuclear energy is being transferred into the electrical energy in an atomic reactor. Okay, the next one is the elastic energy. You must be familiar with it. The external force is applied on some object, and when that force is removed, then object gains its original position once again. So then the object will have elastic energy. However, if the object just continues with its deformed shape, then it has less, or you may say that zero elastic energy. Okay, so elastic energy means that how much an object can resist to the external applied force, mean in sense of deformation. Okay, so it is given by 1 by 2 kx square. K is the spring constant, mean the object's elasticity constant, and x will be the displacement, that how much it was displaced due to the force or the stress whatever it was applied on it. So basically what happens, that bonds absorb that energy that we apply on that object, and when you apply more stress, then these bonds can't come back to their original shape, or sometimes even they break when the stress has been removed. So this is the reason due to which the materials are further classified into elastic materials or plastic materials. Okay, the last type of the potential energy is given over here, that is the chemical energy. So chemical energy is released when the chemical reaction takes place, and it is stored in the bonds once again, and usually the chemical energy is released, then the object is completely transformed into some other, mean definitely it has emitted some particles. So the number of electrons, protons or neutrons must have changed, so it will be completely transferred into some other one. The food that we eat daily provide us chemical energy. Definitely the chemical process is being happening in our body all the time, which is then further converted into the mechanical energy, mean when we do some work and heat that our body needs us to remain at some stable temperature, so that's the heat energy. The chemical energy of a battery or a cell is converted into the electrical energy. Okay, here I would like to show you a single diagram that is given over here. So these are the forms of energy basically, that this is the main division, that is thermal, electromagnetic, electrical, chemical, nuclear and mechanical, and further are divided that where we can use all of them. Okay, thank you very much.